know. I really don't know. I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's happened before. I mean, they put the entire national board of the Communist Party in federal prison in 1948. There's been all kinds of suppression of civil liberties. There was COINTELPRO against the Black Panthers. And what's important now is we need to get back into that mindset. And this has been, that if they come for one of us, they come for all of us. You don't agree with me, I don't agree with you. But if the government showed up and arrested you and wanted to put you in jail for doing primo radical, I would be the first one out there defending your right to do it, defending your free speech and demanding an end to that prosecution. And we need to bring that back. That used to be an understanding among radicals that we all have each other's back and we put our differences aside when the state comes for us, right? And I think part of this whole smear campaign is an effort to make sure something like that doesn't happen. And I've noticed that with even with some of the people in the articles, there's always this attempt to be, well, I'm not like that guy, right? I'm not like that guy. Okay, well, maybe I support Russia and China, but I'm not like that guy. Drop it. Just drop it. You know what I mean? Get over that, because, all the people mentioned in that article, I'm not a fan of every single one of them. Some of them are really awesome and good friends of mine. Some of them, not so much. But if the government comes for them, I'm going to be in the street for them, because I know that, they could come for me tomorrow. And we need to have that attitude. And I think that that's one of the biggest problems in these circles, is that you get people that are like, well, maybe I like Jimmy Dore, but I don't like Kim Iverson, or I like Matt Taibbi, but I don't like, and they play this game where it's not about who you like, right? It's not about, Julian Assange has said a lot of things I disagree with, but I am for Julian Assange because I know why they're going after him. And this cancel culture game where, if you disagree with one thing a person has said, it's somehow okay for the government to come for them. That has got to be gotten rid of. And that's what social media is so toxic about. Social media brings out people's differences, encourages them to fight with each other when that's not the issue. You can make analogies, but if you were living in the Jim Crow South and you saw, a lynch mob assembling to lynch a black man, would you want to know that black man's position on abortion and gay marriage? Would it make a difference if that black man had maybe been abusive to his spouse? No. You would know what the main contradiction was, which is racist lynch mob versus black man, and everything else would be secondary. And, it's like when the police murder somebody, right? The police will gun down an unarmed person in cold blood. And then they'll start to say, well, he got arrested for weed 20 years ago, or, well, when he was in high school, he was inappropriate with a young woman or something. It's like, again, does that give the right for the police to murder them? Does that, this is the kind of concept we need to be understanding. And that's what scares me the most, is that that understanding has gotten away. One of the best events I ever spoke at was an event at the ballroom where Malcolm X was assassinated, where I spoke on a podium alongside Pam Africa and Ramona Africa of the MOVE organization. And I spoke with many supporters of Black political prisoners. And that was a point I made in my speech. We've got to get back to that idea that when the state comes for one of us, they got to deal with all of us. And if we don't get that, they're going to come for all of us. And that's what people don't understand. That's a good way of putting it. I think it could be an opportunity. And I think what the Patreon questioner asked, about the way capitalism and socialism has been presented to Americans, that is really the reason why I work so hard to talk about socialism with American characteristics. That's why I wrote a book called Getting Rich Without Capitalism. We need to break down the distortions of what we are. And so many of these young Marxists, it's like they buy into all of the propaganda about what communism is. They just think it's good. And it's like, that's not going to work, right? We can do better than that. And again, we need to not have our politics be an expression of teenage Satanism, but instead have our politics be serious. We need a serious political program for improving the country. And that means, developing a model that the Americans would like, a model that would include civil liberties, a model that would enable people to become wealthier, and getting beyond kind of this reflexive contrarian attitude. Well, you can Zelle me. I'm at calebmaupin@gmail.com. And there are about 6 free speech alternatives to PayPal that I'm investigating right now. So I will be setting up with one of them. I just have to determine which one is the best. But there are a number of them. And, it's interesting. A lot of these come from the right, a lot of these come from the right wing, but there's a lot of right wing people that, have been banned from PayPal because people object to them and they say things that I vehemently disagree with. But when I started looking for free speech alternatives to PayPal, all the lists I found were from very right-wing people. So again, this kind of shows now, are we against the establishment or are we against people we disagree with. And we need to start thinking more and more like we're against the establishment and less against people who we happen to disagree with. Oh, I'm still on Twitter, Caleb Maupin, CalebMaupin. I've got a website, calebmaupin.com. The Center for Political Innovation, our website is cpiusa.org. You can sign up and become a member today. It's only $10 a month to be a member. So if you want to join the Center for Political Innovation and become involved in our educational efforts, that's very easy to do. So yeah, I'm out there, and I'm going to keep being out there as long as I can. I'm not going to back down. I'm going to take a stand, and they can make it harder, but I'm going to keep going.